Well, for the ISTP that's watching or listening, Antonia, let's talk about some of the principles of how we approach career thinking, at least one way we approach it. And we've identified that an ISTP is an ISTP is an ISTP. But there's 4 flavors that an ISTP might show up as. I mean, there's probably more than that, but we've identified primarily 4 different types or styles of ISTPs. And we believe that if you can understand which one of these styles that you show up as, that's going to give you some information to make the best decision about a career path going forward.
So this is built off of the work of our friend, Dr. Dario Nardi, who has been, over the last couple of years, diving into this concept of subtypes of each of the types. Some of these terms are borrowed from Dr. Viktor Galenko, whose work is in socionics, and a little bit from Dr. Helen Fisher, who has done some work with neurotransmitters and how our attraction or relationship to different neurotransmitters shows up in our behaviors and our character traits. So these 4 different subtypes are 4 different ways that ISTPs can manifest. Like you said, an ISTP is going to be an ISTP, meaning that you're still going to have the same functional, cognition. You're still going to have the character traits that come along with that. But it's going to be a little different depending upon how your mind was molded with your life experiences and particularly after the age of 25, your career choice. So the way this shows up is that the thing we spend, like you said, Joel, over 40 hours a week doing is it's going to influence the sort of the style that we show up within, whatever our natural talents are.
Yeah.
It forces us to build different skill sets to meet our careers or the thing that we're doing so often in the middle. And that means that our subtype, which is more nurture than nature, basically that's what I'm getting to, seems like our personality type is pre-wired. It seems like we don't really get a choice in that. And it seems like the best information we have right now indicates that our personality type is something that we're born with.
Yeah.
But our subtype or our flavor is something that emerges over time. And I think Dario was really reluctant to use the word subtype because he didn't want people thinking that you get shoehorned into a style and you can't get out of it. Because this is more nurture-oriented, you actually have some flexibility. You can be one subtype at a certain point in your life and then find yourself developing the characteristics and traits of a different subtype. So your career choice is important, not just to match your type to your career and make sure it's, something that's going to be in alignment with your natural talents, but it's important because it's also going to mold you.
Yeah.
It's going to influence how your type shows up. And so career is both something that, we use type to understand what career path we should go towards, but we can also use different career paths to help mold our personality and make ourselves a little more flexible.
So some of that's going to become very clear as we unpack these subtypes in a moment, but let's focus on the stereotypes in ISTPs, or at least what I consider the common list of ISTP careers. If you went to the internet, I went to the internet, did some research. So I came up with the top 10 list, according to the internet, of ISTP careers. Number 1, mechanic. Number 2, athlete. Number 3, carpenter. 4, computer programmer or systems analyst. 5, web developer. 6, electrician or plumber. I'm assuming any other style of those as well as number 6. 7, detective. 8, special forces operator. 9, emergency room physician. And 10, commercial pilot. So, that's a pretty common list you'll find if you do a general search. I would argue that ISTPs have way more career and job opportunities than those listed. And some probably fit perfectly with an ISTP listening or watching right now.
Yeah, so certain subtypes are going to be very attracted to different careers on that list. Other subtypes, not so much. And then there are some, like you said, are omitted because there are subtypes of ISTPs that don't go towards what we think of as the stereotypical careers for them.
Yeah, so let's talk about these 4 subtypes. I'm going to give you the list if you're following along. The names of these 4 flavors or subtypes of ISTP personality is the dominant, the creative, the normalizing, and the harmonizing. And each one of these is a differently expressed ISTP. These are not new personality types. These are just expressions of the ISTP type.
Right. And as we go through them, I'm going to make sure that we'll make sure that these are really accessible. So if you're new to type, you just discovered you have ISTP preferences, we're not going to go so far down the rabbit's hole that we'll lose you. We're going to try to keep this really, something that you can understand at sort of its simplest component. But if you are a type geek and you like all the technical terms, we'll also put a little bit of that in, but I'll warn you each and every time.
Yeah.